Hi there, everybody. This is John Drew here from Elevated Planet.
And Jolie Gabrielle here from Elevated Planet. And we'd like to welcome you to today's show where we have a lot in store for you, as I say all the time. And we do. And John is going to tell us more about it.
Yes, and thank you, everybody, for your patience there. We were trying to get in and couldn't see it. And anyway, then we were waiting forever. Hey, we're here now. Sort of technical gremlins out the way, and we are ready for action. And we do have an exciting show for you today. Because what we're going back to is our friend Dr. David Clements, who we have featured a number of times in recent months, and he is proving very, very popular because, and for all the right reasons. He's an interesting guy, right? So the first thing I suppose to mention about Dr. David is that, his background is that, he was a theoretical physicist. He studied at both Cambridge and Oxford University, absolute, PhDs coming out of his ears, very much in the left brain, very much, a brainiac kind of guy. And then basically he had his epiphany. He kind of just almost randomly ended up trying out a remote viewing kind of thing and found himself like remote viewing from the center of a volcano. He suddenly realized, wow, this stuff is real. It's not just mumbo jumbo. But that activation, I'm sure, was always supposed to happen. And then he connected to his teams, which are, his galactic teams, if you like, his higher galactic teams like the Arcturians, the Andromedans, and the Elohim, and whoever else that he connects with. And it's amazing because clearly his place on this planet is to help planetary ascension along with these teams. So he's a conduit for these teams, and he's such a nice guy. His energy is so gentle, but at the same time, there's no doubt about it. He is here for a very special purpose. So he had his conscious awakening whilst in a remote viewing sort of thing, which is something we cover a lot of remote viewers these days because it is fascinating getting in touch. And as everybody will say, everybody can remote view. It's just that we have, again, as Dr. David uses that analogy quite regularly about it's like having a movie camera, which has the film coming down in front of it. So the pure white light of the camera itself is then obscured by the film going down, which creates the images on the screen, which is a metaphor for our life, right? So we really are pure white light. However, we have been conditioned and programmed to see all this other stuff, to feel like it's not us who are in control. We don't feel like we truly are conscious creators of our own reality, which we are. And what Dr. David is helping us with, care of his teams, is helping to peel back these layers, peeling back these filters so we get back to that pure white light. And I need to thank Joy, who's one of our members of our community. She dropped me a message last week to say that the latest activation has come up from Dr. David, because we'd already done meditations number 14 and 15 a few months ago, which are key activations. So key activations for, in fact, we'll go through this. You'll see this as we start to run today's show. But key activations that help us to elevate consciousness for ourselves. Number 14 was the first, followed immediately by number 15. And then we've had a huge gap. I mean, this latest one that Dr. David has done, which we are going to give you the information on today, is number 35, right? So you can, there's been 20 meditations in between. So what Dr. David has is his own Patreon site, which you can subscribe to, which we as Elevated Planet do, so we can keep up with what he's doing. And at the same time, because he doesn't put anything out onto YouTube, we can then be a conduit for that, because he always says, like, we want this information shared as widely as possible from, these the Arcturians in particular, I think, come through with a great deal of this stuff. We want this information out there, so we do this ourselves on the Elevated Planet channel, which means that it's free for anybody to go and use. Now, we had a bit of an issue with number 14 and number 15 because we couldn't stop the advertising that was taking place on them, the mid-roll advertising, which really doesn't work for meditations. And we really didn't want the adverts on there, but we had no control. because there was a copyright issue on there, which meant that we weren't in control of that particular thing. We didn't earn any money from it. We never have earned any money from YouTube at all. In fact, we never earned any money at all. We need to put that right at some point. Anyway, so we had a meeting of the major shareholders this week, didn't we, Jolie, just to work out if we could approve the purchase of a copyright.
Yes, yes, we did have the major shareholders meeting.
Yes, we got them all together around a table, both of us, and decided that we would purchase the copyright, which enabled us then to remove the advertising from within
Yes,
the actual show, from within the meditation itself.
yes.
So those meditations themselves have been very popular despite the adverts.
Mhm.
So, we thought, well, what a brilliant opportunity now. So now we are the proud owners of a copyright, which means that no longer will there be adverts in the middle of a meditation. So we've now got 35 as well, 14, 15, and 35, all without any adverts while it's running. So delighted to
Yes.
say that was. I'm glad that the vote went in favor for the shareholders. They were on side with us there.
It worked out well because you never know with this technology, you can pay for something, think you have something, and then it's something completely different. You're not careful, right? But cue applause, we did it, and
Yay.
one step forward on the front foot, right?
Yes, yes, and it is now is the time to be on the front foot. And we were talking about this week, weren't we, Joe? Like, because we were
Yeah.
saying, to me, this is the message I'm getting, like from listening to so much stuff and just like getting my own messages. Now is the time to start to, we've been relatively, you would say passive. We've been putting information out there, but now is the time, and it's good because we're coming forward with our Create Your Own Reality with Elevated Planet initiative project, which will be on the go. And we've got a bunch of people who put their hands up who want to be involved in that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll get back to you with details as that unfolds. Because we just learned so much in recent times about the fact that we are just not who we've been programmed and conditioned to believe we are. We are so much more powerful. And this is all
Yes.
about Elevated Planet is all about us stepping into our power, all of us, the entire community, anybody who follows us. We want you stepping into your power and being the best version of yourself.
Yes. Absolutely. And really taking responsibility for that creator part of who you are, and accountability for how we're showing up. And I don't know if some of you have noticed out there, but there's been a lot of upgrades happening. And one of the ways is if you've heard ringing in your ears or you're getting the chills various times. I know some of us are like, well, I'm going through that time of life. Well, yeah, on top of the fact that we are upgrading ourselves. So, let's go for this ride together, but more than anything, take responsibility for how we're showing up for life.
That is so important, because again, that goes back to last week's show, the Elizabeth April piece, and your meditation about accepting radical responsibility. So there's another meditation which is well worth listening to, all about taking ownership. Because as
Yeah.
Elizabeth April was saying, you say if you suddenly take radical responsibility and say, well, hang on a second, I didn't want this. Why is this going
Mhm.
on in my life if I'm actually creating it? But it's that then gives you the power. you know if you're out there
Exactly.
pointing the finger at other people and saying this is your fault that this is happening in my life, then unfortunately that's going to be a blocker.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're out there playing the victim, you're going to see that paradigm crumble and nothing's going to be left but you.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
it's really about connecting and asking for help. I mean, asking for help is a little bit different than asking for people to part with their resources.
yeah,
Sometimes it just means a helping hand, advice, somebody to throw things off of, but really connecting. And like I said, always listen to your intuition, but at the same time, expand by reaching out for other ways and better solutions to do things.
yeah, yeah. So I think we have a lot of technical difficulties going on today. Actually, I just seen a message coming down from Joy, that this is, and I suspected this when we went live, because you could see that the whole thing was freeze framing a little. So I do think that there are technical difficulties. So what we're going to do, we're going to carry on regardless, okay? And anybody that's struggling with the live stream, we will be posting this, and it will come through perfectly in the edited recording. So, you know, if it is going not going well right now, then don't worry too much about it. There will be the edited version that comes out tomorrow, which will be seamless, because I can see, it seems that there's let's call it, it's either atmospheric conditions, technical conditions, or it's the Illuminati, because you know what they're like, you know?
We could have some waywards in the what do they call it? The system, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Anyway, thank you for the heads up on that, Joy. And, you know, let's just see how it goes. We're going to just
hi,
carry on
Joy.
regardless.
Yes, let's
Yes,
carry
we're going
on.
to carry on regardless, and just see where it takes us. But just bear in mind, this will come through perfect when we do the recorded version. So, one of the things I wanted to mention actually now, you know, we can see that on the planet we are really ramping up energetically right now. And this is a time when those activations and the ignitions that Dr. David and the team are offering us are really important, because it helps us to peel away those layers. It really does. Now, again, building an understanding of what this is really all about, I just wanted to show you this graphic here. So here we go. This is it's all about the Earth Charter. When the planet came into its own, when it was going to be inhabited, then they have to create an Earth Charter. You know what it's like when you're creating a planet and you decide it's going to be inhabited. You've always got to have a charter. What's going to be the rules of the game? Okay, so the rules of the game, bear with me a second, are basically these. So you can see from the Earth Charter, it is, you know, the planet Earth is a master school for spiritual evolution, and that is what we have all signed up for. You know, that is why we're here. We decided that we did want to forget everything. We were happy to have the veil of forgetfulness drop down as soon as we got here, because that makes it a challenge, right? That is the challenge. We have free will. We can decide our path. Nobody's really helping us to much of a degree. And because of the prime directive, which is one of non-interference. So what you've got, obviously, with Dr. David's friends, the Arcturians, for instance, then they can help through him, but there is no direct interference. So this is what we have to do. We have to do the work ourselves, but we are receiving assistance. We are receiving support from our galactic cousins. And this is the joy of it right now. But yeah, this is the great experiment, planet Earth. This has never been done before. As Dr. David will tell us, ascension on a mass planetary basis has never been done before. So this is exciting, because we get to be the trailblazers, the way showers. And I do know, actually, it's interesting because I'll just close that down a sec. One thing I do know from Dolores Cannon's work over the years is that the things that she got from is a certain civil or gone from dimension to the fleet. I know it was some of the Maya going back a few years ago, and it was also done by some Native American tribes. And I think that these were done deliberately in this way because they were very deeply spiritual. They were a community of people who were all on the same wavelength, and they were able to ascend together. So to the third dimensional world, it just looked like they'd left, that they'd gone, but there was no trace of them anymore. No, you know, they could see they hadn't died because there was nobody around, but the whole place had been abandoned. It's because they'd gone to a higher dimension. They'd gone to a higher dimension, which made them invisible to those remaining in the third dimension. But the reason it was done, according to Dolores's work as a quantum healing hypnosis technique specialist, based off the clients that she had. So this was just them coming out and telling her about this stuff verbatim. They were the way showers for now. They were the ones showing how it could be done, so that there was a template for the rest of us to follow. Now, Dr. David and his team are basically helping us now to create that path for ourselves individually. And as we, as trailblazers and pioneers, follow this path, then that will then enable other people to follow as well. So that's basically that's how exciting it is. What do you think, Jolie? Is that exciting?
Oh, it absolutely is exciting. And we speak about that bridge metaphor, right? You talk about following, others coming in and us expanding. And I see that as not as like a Pied Piper energy, because that's negative, but more of a follow the light, follow the beautiful. If you think about it, like the northern lights, the beauty of the integration of gold light and earth energy that just creates this synergy that aligns us with the laws of the universe, and we just all are united, and that energy vibrates to where, what do? We walk across this bridge to where we can honor that charter. And
Yeah.
what does it bring us? It brings us unspeakable beauty. I mean, we've seen it. We've watched Star Trek, you know, and some
Yeah.
of these places they go where these people are living in bliss, or they're living amongst one another in a high state and frequency and vibration. I mean, that's just one example, but what it means is it's possible, it's out there, and it's most likely happened before, so it can happen again.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um, okay, and I can see, yes, the problems are ongoing because we got a message from Ronnie who's struggling with the same thing as well.
Oh, sorry
So
about that, Ronnie.
yeah, but again, we will make sure that the piece that comes across as the edited version is flawless. Now, okay, I think it's time. I think it's time for us to leap into to reach out to Dr. David. Yeah.
Yes.
And what Dr. David is going to do, he's going to talk us through, because the way this works, number 35 shouldn't be attempted until you've done number 14 and number 15 meditations. So what we've done is we've lined up the explanations from Dr. David to talk about what number 14, meditation 14 represents, what number 15 represents, and then going into what this new number 35 represents. So you get a feel for what it's all about. So bear with me. Should we go in there, Jolie?
Yes, let's go.
Okay, here we go. Bear with me a second.
Since connecting with the infinite source love within, there was a growing knowingness. And I didn't even start thinking about it. It was just a knowingness that started coming in. And I just started feeling, I keep getting this knowingness that what Source is asking us to do as humanity is it's time now. And it's been time for a little while for humanity to take the emphasis off of outer focus and really start focusing on the source creation, the true infinity of who you really are inside. And that is the only focus that is of importance. And that doesn't negate other stuff that's going on. You still need to operate in your lives. You still have to have some outer focus. But there was a real powerful but gentle and serene knowingness of Source saying, humanity, it is time to come in. It is time to be who you are in your truth. It's time to get to know yourself, to build that relationship within your infinite self while holding individuated form as the human being that you are. There's such an important thing about that relationship between being both infinite inside and also having individuated form. That synergy, that marriage, if you like, is a very, very important one. And we've had so many emails from people expressing the wish and the desire, the love inside to have, they really want, so many people just really want that connection within. And for myself as well, I found, having done courses in the past and different things, they were very helpful. I learned a lot of tools and bits and pieces from those in the early days. But I feel, and perhaps it's true to say now, that there are so few people, like Crystalline was saying, that are really looking to help people bridge and activate and make that connection within. Because that infinite source point within you is your greatest friend. It is your greatest ally. And it is the true love of your life. And, and I find in my experience of when you get to know that intelligence within you, because it is the real you, your higher self, what we call our higher selves, is the immediate higher self that we have in the higher dimensions above us, is an immediate aspect of that. But I feel the amalgamation of your higher self and the source love as the greater expanse as a whole, that's where, you know, this is all heading to. And it's such a sweet, it's so hard to find the words to describe this, because it's such an experience and feeling to do this yourself. And I'm so excited that you guys are going to go through this today. And I found the initial activation for me was initially quite very powerful, and then it was very gentle. It was just building, building, building. And as it did, this new knowingness, just almost every day, I get a new layer of knowingness of myself as the quality of that energy. And the calmness, the serenity, the peacefulness that grew inside me was really palpable. Again, it's very hard to put this into words. I'm trying to find the right way to put it across. But also the trust, and that's an important thing as well, because lots of people talk about, oh, just trust and go on. But for me now, I know there's such a difference between telling myself to trust and the knowingness of trust. And that's something that just naturally comes forward when you connect with the infinity point. The trust is an implicit quality of that energy, as is peace, as is the true nature of your intelligence, as love. It's such a beautiful thing. It literally is source intelligence streaming through you. And as it does, I believe you're going to find, as I did, that all of these old paradigms, even identities I didn't realize I had, just start dissolving away, you know. And I feel there's a transition. I'm getting a yes. I can feel that intelligence saying yes inside, that as you make this transition and you move inward and you start to become that source intelligence, because it is you, all the other paradigms that, you know, could be considered false paradigms or things we hold on to and grip to but don't even realize we're doing it, all those things are just going to gently dissolve away by themselves. And the era of having to work on things and clear things the way we have, I feel is going to shift. And instead of having to work through things the way we have, such a state of grace will come through as it started to for me when this activation first took place, where things just fall off. They just disappear. They just go away. And that's one of the beauties of source intelligence, that all the things that we have held together by sheer grip in our lives, you know, it's just going to ask you, just let it go. So in the previous live stream was the initial activation, a big first jump up with the infinity point, and that was the initial step. Now the next one that we're doing now is quite a beautiful one as well. So now that the infinity point had its initial sort of opening and jumping up, I mean, it was always open, it can't close, you know, so it's not like it was open for the first time. I feel what actually happened there was that there was an activation of remembrance so that you could really start to feel it. It was open to a larger degree. Now the next stage is that there are fields that have, because of the experience of humanity wanting to forget itself and going through these experiences, certain fields and bridge fields, I'll call them. I'm not sure there's any, I don't know if my guides, if you have any other words for it. They're giving it, the word is the serene fields. Okay, that's a lovely word. I've never thought of them like that, but that's a lovely word to call it, the serene fields. Okay. Yeah, I guess when you feel it, it's the state of being in serenity, in bliss. They're nodding, saying, yeah, it is. Now, because you're in a physical form, you have atoms, molecules, DNA, you have physical attributes to the suit that you're in. What they'd like to do today, what Source is offering today, and the teams are going to help with this as well, is first of all, they're going to offer you a new type of energy field, which is, I typically call a cocoon, okay? So this is an energy they're going to place around you with your permission. And it's an energy field which is specifically tailored. It's a living source field of itself. And it's going to go around you, and it's going to assist in your development with your infinity point. And it's going to help your cells, the atoms in your body, all of the physical aspects, and even higher levels of fields and energetics, to remember who they are as source energies. Your body is an emanation from source energy, source intelligence, but it has to be reminded of that. And I won't say too much about it now, because I want you to have your own experiences and play with this, because I feel it's really important to just have your own personal encounter and experience with this, rather than hinge on words that I might be saying and think that's how it's got to be. Because I'd love it to be very, for you to have a very playful, unique experience that's for you, because that is how Source works, I feel. It's all tailored for you, because it knows you inside and out. All you have to do is be willing to open and let it in. Okay. We're going to go through this meditation, and they're going to enliven and expand existing fields that are already there, but they're going to introduce new ones. Oh, I just got a rush of energy when I said that. Okay, so is there anything else you wanted to add? Okay, there's another one of the teams here who wants to come forward to just give a quick message that you are so dearly loved, beautiful ones, and it is our profound wish for you to know that love as yourselves. And this is the purpose of these meditations, as this one has said before. This is a consciousness that many of you will know and have worked with and do work with now. We are here for you. We are here to assist you. And this is going to be a delightful experience for all of you. And what we ask for you before you go into this meditation is to relax, enjoy, and be in your peace, sweet ones. And so it is. This meditation is going to be a very simple one, compared to some of the very extended journeys they've taken us on in past meditations. But essentially what this is to introduce a living field energetic of your higher self throughout your being. And when they first talked to me about this, the impression I got was that, for quite some time people have been sort of peeling back the onion layers and, stripping off whole bits and pieces, all past life issues, that kind of stuff, things that happen in this life. To start pulling away the bits of the fortress from the outside, if you like. And for those the term the fortress is a new sort of phrase. This is something that I and the teams have spoken about before, and it's really the amalgamation or the collection of many past lives, this life, all the stuff we've been through, the fears, the traumas, the anxieties, the very bad experiences that have caused us to form this sort of fortress of contraction around us. And what happens is that level of contraction doesn't allow for the full level of love light love light intelligence of your higher self to come through and exist in your physical form. Which would be the case if you were ascended. And that, to me, is what ascension is. Ascension is holding the energy, very high energy of your higher self within physical form. Now, you don't have to hold it in physical form. You can ascend if you leave. But the name of the game here very much is ascension within the body on a mass scale, planetary scale. And this is something which has never been attempted before like this. So all of us really are sort of trailblazing the way in a beautiful, beautiful new experience and experiment about planetary ascension, which is incredible. It really is. And so in order to do this, what's happening is that they're offering a new kind of field so that the synergization with your higher self, the ability for your higher self to come in more deeply and start helping you to synergize, assisting you to synergize, is what this field is about. And so in a sense, if you imagine the fortress being a castle, instead of peeling back brick by brick the walls on the outside and sort of dismantling it from the outside, what this energy is going to do, it's going to come from the core within, and it's going to emanate from within that fortress and start dissolving it from the inside out. So this is a massive, massive assist, the way I see it. And it feels to me that one of the things that the impressions that I got from the teams when they were talking about this was that they see a lot of people in the Lightworker community that are kind of finding it difficult, a great deal of difficulty to get to some of these core issues. They sort of pick a bit here, but they're not really getting to the core of it. So I feel that this sort of outreach from them, or from our higher selves, is kind of a way of saying, okay, we see that it's proving difficult to consciously go and find some of these key core issues. So this activation will come from the inside out and really start dissolving it from the inside out as a massive assist to help you forward. And the overall feel of this is that it's such a big jump and acceleration towards stepping up the synergy with your higher self quicker and faster and deeper. And again, that's really what ascension is to me, is simply becoming and embodying your higher self, or becoming the consciousness of your higher self. And in this case, within your body, part of the planetary ascension pathway that we're definitely on. My teams, do you have anything that you'd like to add before we begin? Is anything you'd like to say or add to this? The only thing they're showing me is, I guess, to remind that this energy is really an emanation of you. It's actually the extension of your higher self starting to emanate within you more deeply. So it's not per se sort of, an addition. The field itself is not an addition. It's more of like a bringing in of your higher self more deeply. And so in doing so, that's going to, in my case, I had this activation done a handful of days ago, so I could get to feel it and get to know it, so I could speak a little bit about it before we actually do it. And what I found is that it really does start to move forward these sort of sometimes often archetypal issues that, that I haven't been able to really get in touch with, that really brought them forward. So it's important to remember as well, when you have this done, that many of you may well have things that come forward that will come out. That's just a necessary part of the process here. And to remember to use the toolkit series. On the front page of the Patreon site, you'll see the toolkit series, and there's 2 in there at the moment. There's the fragment meditation, and there's the disc activation as well. The disc, again, for those who haven't done it, is incredibly powerful. I can't overemphasize this enough. Way of clearing out and cleaning out very quickly debris, old stuff that comes forward. I mean, again, I use it daily. There is a light field technology. I don't like the word technology, but it's just kind of it's sort of relatable. It's called a clearing disc. Okay, so you can call upon your higher selves, and the Arcturians, the ones that gave this to me. You can ask them to form a disc around you, and it starts spinning really fast, and it will lift and whoosh, pull out the old energy around you that's coming out, that's stuck, and suck it into the disc. And then you just hand that up to your higher self, let it go. And that's a powerful, powerful way of clearing old stuff. We do it all the time. I mean, even if you've got into a supermarket or something and you've picked a little something up, disc it out, it's gone. Okay, it's very, very powerful. So ask Yeah, you can connect with if you already connect with the Arcturians, you can connect with them on that. Or you can ask your high selves, because they can get that energy from the Arcturians and apply it to you uniquely and specifically. You can even clear entire spaces with this disc. You could ask it for it to entirely compass your house, an entire area. You'll feel it fill. I even use it to clear the earth as well. You can have a disc that encompasses the entire earth as a giant field, and disc it out, clear the earth. So yeah, very, very powerful.
And we're back. So understand, yes, the technical difficulties are going on, and apologies for that. Unfortunately, there's not a lot we can do about it. I feel it's atmospheric conditions or something anyway. But as I say, tomorrow we will have the show out, the edited version of this, and it will be flawless. So hang on for that. It'll all sort itself out. Now, one of the things I wanted to talk about here, the higher self aspect, okay, the higher self that we didn't learn this through the education system, right? Nobody talks about this. To us, we're just like the meat suit here on the ground, and that's what we get taught. And we have to rely on everybody around us to do stuff. And then you find out on this spiritual journey that actually we are so much more. And this, we're a team, right? Every single one of us is a team. So I look at, me as the physical John, right? The physical John Drew is Team John Drew, 50 trillion living cells coming together to create this physical vessel. And it's amazing because it's all fired up with the consciousness, but there is everything. It's just kind of living, right? And we also, and this is interesting actually, because we did a show going back quite some time ago now with a gentleman you may be familiar with called RJ Spinner. And he was putting some context around this because, again, he's very connected, if you like, the same way that Dr. David is. And he was explaining that the physical body holds about 2.5% of the energy of the soul, right? That's it. So 97.5% of it exists outside of ourselves. And yet, most people go through life not even realizing they have a higher aspect that is theirs to call upon. And the problem for the higher self is, of course, it can't actually intervene because of the law of non-interference. Unless you ask for help, you can't join up to the rest of yourself. So the reason that's the case is that because this is a physical body, because therefore it's a lot more dense, it's the third dimension, as opposed to fifth dimension and sixth dimension, etc., where things get lighter and lighter and lighter. We do come from love and light. That's who we are. But the vibration is slowed down enough to be able to create the physical vessel. Now, the 2.5% that we can fit in here, right, is a minuscule amount compared to the totality of who we are. But this is the beauty of the ascension process. We are now starting to embody more of who we are. So that balance of 2.5 to 97.5% is going to shift. And I don't know what it goes to. It might be 3%, 3.5%, because it's still within a physical vessel. But as the vibration rises, we're able to soak up more of that. Now, what this number 35 does, this number 35 meditation, and all three meditations, 14, 15, and 35, 14 and first, 15, and then 35, for those who not yet way, pick it again, note 3 for at your left, and as you look, because one of the David will say is that this is a meditation that you can do time and again, and you are encouraged to do it time and again, because it's every time you are making that connection, and you, from a physical perspective, have to permission things to happen, right? For the Arcturians to help, you have to permission for your higher self to actually come through and to bring more of that energy. And also, because that's, I think, number 15 is where you're removing the veil of forgetfulness. Okay, so that veil of forgetfulness that we saw on the Earth Charter, the beginning of the removal of that, if you permission it to be so. Because one of the agreements we made when we came here was the veil of forgetfulness would exist. So unless you permission for that veil to be removed, it can't be removed. So this is the pioneering way ahead. This is the trailblazing thing. This is where Dr. David, this is where the Arcturians and the Andromedans and the Elohim are helping us and Pleiadians for that matter as well, because I know he works a lot with the Pleiadians, or helping us to actually get more of our higher self into our body. So this is just us. This is the divine us, and it's getting in here more and more. That ramps us up to higher vibrational. And I've got to say, and in fact, Jolie and I had this discussion on a couple of occasions just over this last week, and she's found the same thing. I find more inner peace in myself these days. Stuff can happen all around, like we're struggling. Yeah, we're struggling. We're struggling with technical difficulties. I don't get stressed about it because, we know this all works out. We know it all works out. Whatever's trying to get in the way at the moment, it's not going to get in the way. The message is still going out there, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. And I was thinking, like, the future of education. Can you imagine if you'd have been like going to school at kindergarten? One of the first things you learn is that you are an aspect of divinity, and you are here on a divine purpose, and that purpose will unfold itself over the years, because that purpose will be aligned with what brings you the most joy, and that is your piece, your jigsaw puzzle piece in this giant cosmic jigsaw puzzle. If you've been told that from a very young age, so you weren't encouraged to switch off from the woo-woo nonsense and actually say, no, it's not woo-woo nonsense. This is who we are. We are divine aspects, and we are here for this soul growth experience, and it is fantastic. If you are then encouraged down that path, that's the education of the future. That's elevated planet kindergarten right there. You can sign your kids up for us right now, and we'll help them on the way. But I just find that really interesting to think that this is what's happening. And Jolie, tell us a little bit about how you've been feeling about, things in recent times.
For me, it's been exciting. I have my sense of enthusiasm and excitement has come back to do the things that I used to do. Whereas before I was I wouldn't say sad, but sadness was where it began. And then it went to negative and limiting. And, and from there, it was just like I've gotten a habit now of those limiting beliefs, those negative thoughts. They just turn themselves over into, no, it's really this. And that has been a consistently going on and making me feel better now for like weeks. I can't say months, weeks. And it's not slowed down yet. Usually it's ebb and it flows, and I get back into that energy sometimes, but it's been speeding up, and I've just been feeling good, and I've been seeing purpose in the future. I can see it, clarity around where I'm going and my purpose. And I'm so excited for what the future brings. And this is the first time since I was probably a child that I've been excited for what the future brings. And I want to earn. That's different from working. Working, it triggers something that goes, eh.
Yeah.
But when you talk about earning, when you talk about taking responsibility and accountability and creating, that's a whole different energy. So look at your work, flip it on its head and say, earn. Because when you do that, if you're not in the right place and you're not aligned, you'll get closer to saying, let me align. Let me get to a place where I feel good about earning.
Yeah. 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 I just think these are remarkable times. And it does. It's just like, for me in recent times, I just feel the joy of life. I feel like
Yes.
I'm celebrating life the way that we're supposed to be celebrating life, because it has, everybody goes through struggles, right? We've all been there. We've all been through the dark night of the soul. We've all had the struggles, but we were always supposed to. So I don't feel bad about that. I know that that was part of my journey as well, was to come through those things, to be able to challenge myself, as in fact I was. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was. And it was all about soul growth. And now I just feel that the vibration, the frequency is definitely higher all around us.
Yes. That's exactly what I mean, is that finally, the mojo's coming back, and you
Yeah.
feel that frequency and that vibration. And when you talk about living in joy, I'm able to create my own joy now. Whereas before, resilience was, maybe it took a little bit longer to get to. Now resilience is happening in real time. So I'm just so grateful. But I also have to thank this process, because the more I meditate, the more I check in with my divine self, the higher self that David talks about becoming one with,
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
more that this is happening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, it's wonderful. And I'm excited for how the community get on with, these meditations. And again, we're not trying to steal Dr. David's thunder, because, anybody who wants to go to Patreon, there's all 35 meditations are there and so much more. The work that he's doing with his Arcturian friends and his Pleiadian friends and the rest of them is absolutely, really taking humanity forward. And we are just happy to be here to spread the love and to encourage people to do that, but also make free on YouTube available without advertising in mid-roll the meditation, so people get easy access to these activations. It's ignition of your higher self energy coming down into the body, activations of all these different elements. It's just a beautiful thing.
yes, it is.
So I was thinking, do you think it's time now to go to the Jolie Gabrielle guided meditation visualization?
Yes, let's do it. Let's get into that knowingness, integrating the higher self, and really aligning with, like I like to say, the purpose.
Yeah. Yep, indeed. Thank you again to everybody who's held in on the problematic technology of today. But anyway, as I say, tomorrow this goes out perfect. So no problem. Yeah, and we've got so Dr. David is going to give us a minute to lead us into Jolie's guided meditation. So if you hold onto your hats, we're going to go that way right now. Thank you.
We are really ramping up energetically now. So, and it's one of the things I say to people is really important on the ascension path. You have to move, you have to clear out. It's basically a process of clearing out the old so that the new energy can come in. It's a little bit like, in a house, if you wanted to remodel your house into a much more beautiful, more high vibe kind of place, you've got to move out some of the old stuff that's not really synergistic with that, doesn't tally with that. So that's essentially, in a nutshell, what's happening here. That, as a human being, we have these collected experiences from the past, many, many past lives, and not just on, planet Earth, other places as well. We're clearing through a lot of stuff and getting rid of it so that we can clean house and literally have a human experience which has a very high vibrational, high synergy with, a high connectivity and merging with the higher self, essentially.
Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Put your feet flat on the floor, your palms face up on your thighs. And as you bring your awareness to the center of your chest, I want you to feel so much gratitude for yourself, for your soul inhabiting this body. Feeling so much gratitude for those 50 trillion cells that make you up, this divine creator, aligning with your purpose, our purpose. From a heart-centered space, and as you breathe with the rhythm of your body, visualize yourself grounding into Mother Earth. This physical body is made up of the stuff of Mother Earth, as well as the divine. So as you ground your energy and become one with, I want you to visualize your feet opening like the lens of a camera, and you calling in 15% earth energy of a color that resonates with you. Is it red for action, safety, movement? Is it orange for pleasure and creativity? Or maybe it's yellow for more personal power, discipline, motivation? Is it green for more unconditional love and grounding in that energy of knowingness? Is it an indigo to speak your truth? We've got that beautiful purple color to open up our intuition, or are you just bringing in that white, clear energy of straight divinity from Mother Earth, gold, anything that you want the color to represent your movement going forward. Pull it in as you see it travel up the side channels of your legs, and that lets your crown know to open up as that beautiful cosmic divine life force energy comes cascading down. And now your higher self knows, I'm going to stand at the power position above the crown as the aura then gets into formation, 1.5 feet around, and that astral body snaps itself in to receive all of the energy that this earth energy and cosmic divine life force energy has to give, solidifying its wellness. So feel this energy move throughout your body as it meets in the first chakra. And then what? It begins to fill you up like water fills up a cup. It's mixture. And your hand as the energy begins pump, 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 cleaning out all of your cells, your organs, your systems, and the entire network. This energy then sprouts out of your hands, filling up your aura layer. And as this essence does its thing in your energy field, and you coming from your heart-centered space of gratitude and unconditional love, I want you to take a really deep breath in for a count of 5. Hold it for a count of 6. And on the exhale, which will be a count of 7, I want you to see all disease and illness be released down your grounding cord and being filled up in the spaces and places with that earth energy integrated with that cosmic divine life force energy. And I want you to see those 50 trillion cells turn heart-shaped, eat away at any disease and illness within the body, bringing you back to that knowingness of wellness and health. And as you take another deep breath in from this heart-centered space of unconditional love for a count of 5, holding it for a count of 6, and exhaling on a count of 7. I want you to release any and all blocks to you aligning with the laws of the universe and the divinity Mother Earth has to offer, and see the energy of the divine in Mother Earth fill up those spaces and those places within the brain and the body. That programming and the conditioning is now resolved and dissolved itself to be replaced with that knowingness, more of that veil thinning, being removed and resolved to remember who you are. We are creating this new earth, this new reality of unspeakable beauty. As we take another deep breath in for a count of 5, and we hold it for a count of 6. And as we exhale, when we exhale for a count of 7, I want you to see all those 50 trillion cells and atoms turn into disk. And then you see that one big disk surrounding you, pulling out any disease, any junk DNA, any viruses, bacteria, anything that is out of alignment with unconditional love. You're going to see these discs move it out into that big disc surrounding you, and up, up, up into the ether to be resolved and dissolved and turn into unconditional love for everyone. as any residual goes down your grounding cord to turn into positive creative life force energy for anyone to use as that mixture of Mother Earth and cosmic divine life force energy fills up those cells with unconditional love, potentiality, limitlessness. As you sit in the energy of unconditional love and gratitude, and this beautiful joy and amusement surrounds you. And all of your cells know their purpose. As from a place, a heart-centered space, you take another deep breath in for a count of 5. Hold it for a count of 6. And as you exhale on a count of 7, you're exhaling the things, the behaviors, the attitudes, the people, the places that no longer serve you. Releasing that down your grounding cord and sending out unconditional love and receiving unconditional love into that golden sun that sits above your head, recalibrating and realigning you with that serene field as that beautiful cosmic gold life force energy and that earth energy just fill you up, sprouting out of your feet, hands, and crown chakras. Anything that is out of alignment with that energy goes down your grounding cord as you fill up with that beautiful golden sun, mixing in with all that divinity and expanding you as you are in alignment, not only with your purpose, but with unconditional love, forgiveness, and the laws of the universe. As you pulsate with light and open yourself up as a divine channel of light and blessings, as the front and the back of your chest, your heart chakra just pumps out so much love into your aura layer and out into your environment, out into the universe, reminding you that you are a limitless creator of your own reality, and it is safe for you to take responsibility for what your life looks like. Aligning with the frequency and a vibration that is high, that turns dreams and positive thoughts into reality in real time. Resonate with that energy of divine creation, infinite divine creation. As you breathe with the rhythm of your body, as that 15% earth energy and that 85% cosmic gold life force energy move throughout your body, bringing you to a state of wellness, of wholeness, and aligning you with the divine laws of universe, giving you access to that infinite creator energy, remembering who you are. So as you sit in this knowingness, I want you to take a deep breath in. Exhale. I want to take another deep breath in. Exhale. And as you exhale, see your aura layer just pushing out and pushing out and aligning with all of the things that you are, the positivity, the loyalty, the trust, the unconditional love, the gratitude, the abundance. Take a deep breath in, exhale, and align. Take another deep breath in, exhale, and expand. And as you take another deep breath in, you're going to hold it for a moment. And on the exhale, you're just going to light up that aura layer and see all these flecks of gold and all these beautiful magnets bringing in your highest good, your most loving good. Bring this visualization into your heart. If it's in the mind's eye, let it extend and expand through the cranium, down the neck, and into those 50 trillion cells that make you up, into your soul, your mind, body, and spirit. This is your new reality, moving you into this new earth of unspeakable beauty. Breathe it all in and exhale it all around you. You're inhaling good, and now you're exhaling good. You're inhaling great, you're exhaling great. You're inhaling health and wellness, and you are exhaling health and wellness. And on this next inhale of unconditional love, and you're exhaling unconditional love, visualize the bottoms of your feet closing like the lens of a camera, and that earth energy receding back down into Mother Earth. You inhale gratitude. Gratitude. Visualize your hands closing like lens of a camera. And as you inhale excellence, I want you to exhale excellence and visualize your crown closing like the lens of a camera. And know that divine light is flowing through you, unabated, unblocked. It's just a divine river of excellence, gratitude, unconditional love, and brightness moving through you. Joy, bliss. You are her, you are him. So as you take another deep breath in and exhale and become limitless, you can open your eyes.
And we're back.
And we're back.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Jolie. I love the disking and
Yes.
everything else we were bringing in there. You know, it just kind of reminded me, and I mentioned this to you earlier. When I did, I redid the meditation 14 for the first time and 15 yesterday. Just like I've done them numerous times, but I thought I'd do, and I just happened to have a bubble bath. And just going back to last week's meditation, which was all about a bubble bath of love. And I thought, I'm going to
Yeah.
do this in the bath. in this bubble bath, because I did have the bubble bath going as well. And it was beautiful. I really enjoyed it. And so, you know, I recommend it. Anybody who wants to try the bubble bath of love for those meditations, it's just so relaxing. Again, it just adds to the serenity. But if you've got a very big bath and you think you might start to fall asleep, take a snorkel with you. Just
Yes,
in case you
please stay
slip below
alive.
the water. We don't want any fatalities along the way. Meditation.
Please, yeah, stay aware.
In the bubble
But
bath of love.
and you know, if you feel sick or you're ill in some way, disking all your cells is a great way to continue to bring wellness in the body. So you want to get as minute as possible and then as big as possible. It's a
Good.
great way to bring in wellness.
Yeah, it's been really. I know that there are technologies, and so there I would encourage that. I say it's tonight in the UK, but obviously back over in America, it's the morning still, but or thereabouts. But yeah, I would encourage anybody to check this out on the recorded version, which will be out tomorrow. And on the show notes for both this and for the one tomorrow, there will be the meditations 14, 15, and 35 attached, because these things are life-changing. This is us being trailblazers. This is us upshifting, and we are bringing in more of that higher self into our physical being, because we can do that now, because we couldn't do that before when we were in amongst the density. But now that frequency is going up, there is more room for that 2.5 to 97.5% shifting up, and it's just going to be a beautiful experience.
Yes, it is. So it's exciting times. So get your enthusiasm going, because it's really, we're about to go fast.
Yes. Yes, this is an exciting time to be here on the planet. It is an honor to be here on the planet. And, you know, we love having our community around us as well. So thank you to those who have been here today. Thank you to those who will be joining us on the recording. And, you know, we welcome your comments. We welcome your thoughts. The newsletter goes out tomorrow as well. And so basically anybody who wants to be added to that distribution list can email me at johndrew@elevatedplanet.life, or you can go through to our elevatedplanet.life contact page and use that to send us a free format message with any questions, thoughts, or anything like that. And we have a WhatsApp group as well, actually. So I should put the link for the WhatsApp group on there as well. So anybody can join us there as well.
Yeah.
Anything else, Jolene, we need to cover off?
Yeah, I just want to big up our WhatsApp group. We really have some people in there that are so loving and supportive, and they check in and connect. And I'm just very grateful for them. They keep me going. And I think we now have an Instagram and a TikTok, and we'd love for you guys to take a look at that. We have some social media presence. John and I were really not kind of the social media posting people. I try and it just dies on me. So I'm just staying away from it. But we have someone now that has willingly stepped up and done it. And we're so grateful to Stephanie for doing that. And she asks us to remind you that we have social media. So check that out, as well as like, sharing, and subscribing to Elevated Planet. We could really use a boost. And we'd love to share our content with people because it only makes us better.
Yes, indeed it does. So yes, thank you very much to Stephanie for doing what she's doing to spread the love really on social media generally, because as Jolene says, neither of us has the inclination, never used this stuff at all. But I'm grateful when people do connect with us that way as well. And I know it's important. So, you know, so grateful to Stephanie and to Mohammed, our friend as well, who really assists with building the shorts and the thumbnails and so much more. You know, he's an invaluable part of the team as well.
Yes, yes. We're building a team. So that means you see the momentum is happening, because we were Lone Rangers for a while. John was definitely the Lone Ranger for a while. And so now it's great to have support. So we're so grateful.
Yes. One team, one dream all over again.
Yes. One team, one dream.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, I think that's it then. We're going to wrap up. You think, Jolene? Yeah.
I think it's time.
Okay. Thank you again to everybody who's born with this today, because I know it's been freezing and it's been losing time, whatever. But the version tomorrow that goes out will be flawless. It will not have any of that on it. And it's, just one final point of interest. One thing I do know is that when David did the number 35, and he does it initially live, they had exactly the same problem. So I don't know whether there's any conclusion to be drawn from that.
It's a coinky dink, right?
It is. Anyway, we're going. We'll see you in a week's time. We'll be in touch in the meantime anyway with the newsletter and posting the videos and the like. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us.